Frozen tracks, fractured economy. Canada's rail crisis unfolds. Canada's rail system is at a standstill. A bitter dispute between the railways and their workers has brought freight trains to a screeching halt. This isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a full-blown crisis, throwing supply chains into chaos. The impact is being felt far beyond Canada's borders. From farmers unable to ship their grain to factories facing production shutdowns, the consequences are real. Imagine a giant game of Jenga, where each block represents a vital part of the Canadian economy. Now, imagine someone just yanked out a huge chunk from the bottom. That's what this rail shutdown feels like. The ripple effects are impossible to ignore. Supermarkets are bracing for shortages, businesses are scrambling for alternative transportation. The longer this drags on, the more precarious the situation becomes. This isn't just about economics, it's about livelihoods. Thousands of rail workers are caught in the crossfire, facing uncertainty and financial strain. The shutdown has exposed a deep rift between labour and management, raising questions about worker rights and safety. The situation is critical, demanding urgent attention and decisive action. But before we delve into potential solutions, we need to understand the root causes of this crisis. How did Canada, a nation renowned for its stability, find itself on the brink of a rail-induced meltdown? Buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive into the messy, complex, and frankly infuriating world of Canadian rail politics. The iron grip tightens, railways versus workers in a battle for control. At the heart of this crisis lies a tense standoff between two powerful forces: the railway companies, Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Kansas City, and the Teamsters Canada Rail Conference, representing nearly 9,300 rail workers. This is a high-stakes battle with the future of Canada's economy hanging in the balance. Think of it as a classic David versus Goliath story, but with more train horns.
On one side, you have the railways, massive corporations with deep pockets. On the other, the workers, the backbone of the rail system, argue they're being pushed to the brink. The railways claim they're just trying to run a business. They argue their demands are necessary to improve efficiency, but the workers aren't buying it. They say the railways are prioritizing profits over people.
This isn't just about wages and benefits, it's about basic human dignity. The workers are fighting for reasonable schedules and adequate rest periods. They're tired of being treated like cogs in a machine. Echoes of empty tracks, the economic fallout across North America. The economic repercussions of Canada's rail crisis are impossible to ignore. It's like someone hit the pause button on a significant portion of the Canadian economy, and the effects are rippling outwards, impacting businesses and consumers across North America.
Remember that Jenga tower we talked about? Well, it's starting to wobble. The shutdown has choked off the flow of goods, creating a logistical nightmare for businesses that rely on rail transport. Manufacturers are facing production delays, retailers are staring down empty shelves, and farmers are stuck with mountains of unsold crops. The impact isn't just limited to Canada. The US, heavily reliant on Canadian rail lines for trade, is feeling the pinch as well. Supply chains, already strained by the pandemic and global instability, are now stretched to their breaking point. Businesses are scrambling for alternative transportation, driving up costs and adding to inflationary pressures.
The longer this shutdown drags on, the more severe the consequences will become. Experts warn of potential job losses, rising prices for essential goods, and a decline in consumer confidence. The situation is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the global economy and the fragility of the systems we rely on every day. Section 4. Can Ottawa untangle the knot? Government intervention on the horizon. As the rail crisis deepens, all eyes are on Ottawa, where the Canadian government is facing mounting pressure to intervene and broker a solution.
But untangling this knot of conflicting interests, entrenched positions, and economic anxieties is proving to be a Herculean task. Imagine trying to mediate a fight between a grizzly bear and a moose, both hungry, both stubborn, and both convinced they're in the right. That's essentially the challenge facing Canadian lawmakers as they try to find common ground between the railways and the union.
The government has a range of options at its disposal, from mediating talks to imposing binding arbitration to even, and this is where things get really messy, legislating striking workers back to work. Each option comes with its own set of risks and rewards, and the government must carefully weigh the potential consequences of each move.
Some argue that the government should stay out of it, letting the parties reach a resolution on their own. Others call for swift and decisive action, arguing that the economic well-being of the nation is at stake. The situation is a political minefield, with the potential to alienate voters and spark further unrest.
Section 5. Seeking long-term solutions for rail stability. As the immediate crisis is being addressed, experts are looking ahead to ensure the long-term stability of Canada's rail system.
The key to avoiding future disruptions lies in modernizing infrastructure, investing in technology, and fostering better labor relations. It's not just about putting out fires, but building a more resilient system for the future.
This means substantial investments and a commitment to innovation. But the payoff could be a rail network that's more efficient, reliable, and capable of meeting the demands of a growing economy.
Collaboration between the government, rail companies, and unions is crucial. Only by working together can we create a sustainable and robust rail system that benefits everyone.
Section 6. Voices from the front lines of uncertainty. The rail crisis has affected countless lives, from workers to businesses and even everyday commuters. Let's hear from those directly impacted.
It's been really tough. The uncertainty is the hardest part. You don't know if you'll be able to get to work, if your shipments will arrive on time, or how long this will all last. It's affecting every aspect of our lives.
These personal stories highlight the real-world impact of the rail crisis, putting a human face on the statistics and political debates.
We just want a solution that works for everyone. It's not just about the companies or the government. It's about all of us who rely on the railways every day.
Section 7. The future of Canada's railways in your hands. As we look to the future, it's clear that the decisions made today will shape the railways of tomorrow. Your voice, your actions, and your engagement are crucial in this journey. Whether it's advocating for better policies, supporting sustainable practices, or simply staying informed, every bit counts. Together, we can ensure a brighter, more stable future for Canada's railways. Thank you for joining us on this journey.